matchup is Kevin Zuniga versus Eden. The winner plays against Jordan Markle. And so we'll have our top 7. And unfortunately, Marcus McKinney could not make it for the rest of the night as well. It's been pretty late. We did go overtime due to some delays. So I understand. We'll just get that game going tomorrow. All right. Okay, so the game is up between Kevin Zuniga and Eden. Let's go ahead and spectate that, and let's do this again. All right, so on the green side, we have Kevin Zuniga, and on the red side, we got Eden Sounds. All right, 0-0. Let's go. Final match of the day, which means it's the final poll of the day, guys. It's been fun creating these polls, not gonna lie. Eden or Kevin, who do you guys have as the final winner tonight? Created the poll. I'm actually interested in this matchup. When I played Gotenks, I thought Syn Shenron was really hard. Do you guys think it's the same? You think Gotenks has a tough matchup against Syn?
It can be a little tough. It just kind of depends on what he's main decking. Like if he has Meki and 7-drop Gotenks in the main, that definitely helps out a lot. Like if you're able to Bardock, rest 9-drop, and then 7-drop on top of it, feels really good. Also being able to steal them with Meki is a huge tempo swing. But that's also like when you were playing it, it was before Anniversary Box. So if he's siding like max power Kamehameha, then he has just easy 1 energy removal, and you don't have to deal with that 9-drop ever again.
Yeah, I think every time Gotenks swings, it almost demands a block because you never know if the Zamasu super combo is coming down. You never know if Bardock Rated Warcry is coming down. So that could just completely nullify your blocker, right? So you really have to just keep track of where all the Raiders are at, how many super combos they've been through, how much energy they have available. I think it's a bit of a mind game for Syn in that regard.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Kevin. He stuck around this whole time, by the way. He was waiting for the longest time. We gave a schedule to everybody, and only his bracket got messed up so hard that he finished his first game like at 12 o'clock in the morning today, like at noon PST, and he's been waiting this whole time for his next game. So shout out to Kevin for his patience. I appreciate it, man. He's such a good guy. You know, if you talk to him, he's positive all around.
Oh yeah. Oof, super combo charge.
Give him the anniversary box he earned it. Maybe I should give him some sort of like waiting prize. The longest waiter, you know, the guy who wasted the most time waiting gets a prize. Cali is on fire, that's for sure. It is so dusty outside, guys, here in California. You go outside and it literally feels like there's an Instagram filter on your eyes. Like it's just bronzy. All right, Gotenks did win the dice roll, which is good for Gotenks. It gives him a little bit of advantage in this, in my opinion, rough matchup.
Any respect for SS3 Reboot? I think when you're looking at Mono Blue, I think that all the different leaders you can play just add something different to the deck. Like, you know, the 2 popular ones right now is Zamasu, adds a little bit of proactivity. Vegito adds that little bit of defense with the early awaken. And then SS3, I guess you get the extra energy, but it's at the cost of, you know, some hand advantage. And then you have like Reboot, Soul Striker, right, who gives you a little bit of extra energy here and there. So I think whenever you're playing Mono Blue, I think you just have to kind of decide what leader you want to go with and go from there.
Yeah, I think the biggest downside to SS3 Reboot is just hand size. Like the other blue leaders, like Vegito doesn't really gain a ton of advantage as far as drawing, but the leader itself, just being able to tap 2 energy and produce a triple strike threat without presenting any cards, is just kind of like that virtual hand advantage where your opponent is either taking the damage and getting closer to dying, or they're using up cards to defend themselves when you didn't have to dedicate any cards to that attack. And then, of course, Zamasu just draws 2 every turn off of its leader.
Yeah, definitely another powerhouse factor of Vegito is that it doesn't have to pay cards to produce a win condition, which is definitely very strong.
Yeah, and both those decks are still really defensive. So it's like they can still defend most decks. While SS3, yeah, it does get that 3 energy. Its hand size can't compare to the other 2.
So early Gotenks Unison, it's so interesting because Gogeta Unison. I'm sorry, I personally don't like playing Gogeta Unison right away because it feels like it's the last option. I feel like you much rather play a Raider's Warcry instead. So if you're playing Gogeta, that just means that you really have no options left. That's why you had to play it on 2.
Yeah, I agree. I think if he had Raiders, he probably would have.
Yeah. He probably just drew into it now. Because against Syn, you want to put the pressure fast. You want to try to beat them down, get them down to 3 life really fast. And look at that. Double Raiders.
Oh, wow. That's big.
Wow. Double Raiders here.
But see, this is what Gotenks can just do. That is one positive to playing the Gotenks out early, though, is being able to just cycle through your deck so fast. You do get to see double Warcry Beam, whereas if he didn't play the Gotenks, maybe he doesn't see like 2 of those cards.
And clearing the 4-drop is pretty key here too. I mean, yeah, Eden has another 1-drop on the field, but he has to now commit more energy to get the 9-drop out, which can definitely matter, especially going to Kevin's turn 4 when he's trying to put more pressure on.
This is going to be an explosive turn for Kevin. I mean, that's a lot of damage that's going to go Eden's way, and he's going to have to either block unconventionally or he's going to have to use maybe a Haze Shenron. We'll see.
Yeah, either a Haze Shenron, maybe a Zamasu super combo can get him out of this. But those are 2 APS to somehow deal with going forward. He's taking 2. No Zamasu super combo, it seems like.
That's crazy.
Yep, we have a Haze and a pitch. Yeah, it's really nice because, so if you think about it, card advantage wise, it would cost Eden 3 cards to out combo that 20k, but by just comboing 2, essentially, technically comboing 1 and pitching another, he's quote unquote out comboing, but also dealing with the threat. So that's actually really good value.
Lambroke, I think they were busy tomorrow. And they just didn't have time to play should they make top 8. So they just decided not to finish their top 16 matches.
Definitely a very unconventional tournament in that regard, but we are going through. This game is going very smoothly, which is definitely a refreshing thing to see. And hopefully you guys enjoy riding out the night with some more Dragon Ball Super.
$89, yeah, it is a weird scenario, but at least we got to see the Dragon Balls be used to bring some people back from the dead.
Yes. Going with the Obuni here. Now, the interesting thing about Obuni
Sorry, I'm sorry. I was answering chat that no, this was not meant to be a 1 day thing. It was 1 day all the way down to top 8, which this is the last match, and then we'll play the rest of top 8 tomorrow.
Yep, that's what's going
Yeah,
on.
so it was today.
And the interesting thing about Obuni in this matchup is that Syn negates Obuni's activate main. So, I mean, Kevin can awaken here, granted, but under other circumstances, he would be tapped out. Yeah, so I remember talking to Eden about this deck when he topped with it a few weeks ago, and he said the proper use of the Zarbon combo card is what's going to allow a player to take this deck far or, 0-3 drop. So that was definitely a good usage of Zarbon there. Definitely going to want to block the Raiders if possible.
This is a really good curve for Kevin, though.
Yeah, for sure. He's putting the exact pressure on that he wants to be putting on.
If Kevin main decks Meki Kabura, this could get out of hand real quick.
I find it so interesting that Gotenks decks are making blue just for Obuni. It's that good of a card, and it just adds on to their tempo. Even though you can't use it as a cell successor piece, you still play it for 4 energy just because it's just 4 attacks.
Yeah. Well, you look at a lot of the other decks in the format, like yellow and is so big, and so is Vijex. And the one thing about those decks is they don't really have a bunch of like removal as far as like wide boards. So being able to stick an Obuni, like if they want to get rid of it, they have to attack into it. And both those decks are pretty tempo based. So if they're throwing attacks into like free tokens that didn't cost you much, then that's beneficial to you. Also, like they don't defend them really well. Like, yeah, yellow can play Nimbus, but Vijex, like their hand size is already really low, so they power protect their people, then they're just losing a lot of cards. If they don't have that, then they're either taking all the damage or losing most of their hand.
Turn 4 Meki with the tap out.
Yeah, it feels bad that he couldn't awaken that turn.
It's still a blocker. It's still rest mode something, so it's still quite defensive.
Yeah, it's just that, no one's really playing Time Magic, so I think, I guess apparently Kevin is. But I don't think Syn is playing Time Magic, so might just be 2 blockers, maybe some combination of Zamasu super combos and Haze Shenrons.
Nerd Farmer, are you talking about like the new Grim Reaper Gotenks, or are you talking about the old red Gotenks that puts out tokens? To a certain extent, yeah. Within like the Gotenks deck, definitely Grim Reaper provides an insane amount of value. But the one huge plus side to Obuni is it's so flexible in like different decks you can play it in. So in that sense, you'd have to give the nod to Obuni just because like you have like a typically all yellow deck that's now splashing Obuni just because it's a very efficient card. But I would have to give the nod to Obuni. If I was gonna say one was better than the other, I would say Obuni. But Grim Reaper for what it does for that deck is pretty absurd.
Yeah, now Eden's at the point where he's just pitching 5Ks, so you know he's in a pretty rough scenario.
Yeah. And the Basil. Wonder if he has counterplay.
If I'm Gotenks, I kind of want to just swing into that Mickey almost. I just want him off the board.
Yeah, I think you got to get the block out of it first. Once he
I
blocks,
see. Makes sense.
once he
Makes
blocks
sense.
it, it's definitely open and just getting smacked a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the thing about Booney is just like it's such a safe card. You know, it has deflect, so you typically tapping 4 for something isn't amazing unless you know it's going to go through. And Booney having deflect, you know you're going to get your effect off. It's great on offense because you got 4 attacks, or if you need the defense, you can literally just leave the tokens up and use them for combo power. And he gets to untap an energy, so you can play him on curve and still have an energy up for defense. Booney just does a little bit of everything. And now that unisons are so big, like this whole format is based around unisons, and Obuni is literally like the one card that comes down and basically says, you know, pop a unison.
Oh, and looks like Eden just scooped.
Yeah.
Maybe not the hyper long game that we were used to seeing today.
Yeah, when you send Zubin and double Warcry, that's a lot of pressure for Syn Shenron to handle
One
early.
thing about you can always expect from Kevin is Kevin always plays those tempo decks. And if you give Kevin any window to just like run straight through you, he will just take it and go with it. Like this guy ends matches very quick. That's what he's known for. Yeah, Nerd Farmer, I agree. Like in blue matchups, it can be tough if your opponent has Unison out because Trunks counterplay obviously is just like a board wipe to the tokens. Yellow can be kind of annoying. You know, they put them in rest, but it's obviously not as good as the Trunks counterplay. Red counterplay can get rid of 2 of them, even though it's definitely the worst counterplay.
If you're Gotenks, what are you citing against Syn Shenron? Max power Kamehamehas? Would you even cite
I
that as
assume
Gotenks?
I think so. Because if the thing about Syn Shenron, it's like it's that one matchup where if it sets up, it's really hard for you to push through. And it's just a very solid sideboard card. Like, you know, if you need extra negates against certain matchups, like if you're playing against like Reboot Gohan, you know, still just a 1-cost negate. Against matchups like Sin, the upside is just like ridiculously high. That's probably one of my favorite side deck cards right now. It's kind of like on that same tier as BMS, is where it's just like it's a really solid sideboard card. If you ever need like to be more aggressive, you can sideboard him in. Use a 1-cost attacker that can take your life and help you self awaken, or against matchups where his effect is actually relevant, then his upside is super high. So they're both very similar in that same effect. So I think those are two cards that you're going to see in most side decks.
Yeah, it makes sense. Totally makes sense. And then now Syn Shenron is going first, so they have a chance to get that Mickey out early. And
Fuji, Kevin won.
Kevin won. So let me update that. My bad, guys. Boom. 1-0.
But yeah, you're right. Meki is the big one.
Mm-hmm.
If Meki can stick, it's really hard to break through their defense.
Absolutely.
But that's also the opposite side too. Like if Kevin can play his own Meki and steal a 9-drop, that's a huge tempo swing. You get to draw 2 cards and you get a 9 or a 30k.
Right.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's crazy that if you steal their Syn Shenron 9-drop as Meki Kabura, you draw 2 cards because it left the battle area. That's so like counterintuitive, but I guess,
So it makes those Syn mirror matches so toxic. You're just stealing each other's 9-drops.
Yeah. Stealing effects are OP, man. I made a huge misplay on one of my streams the other day. I was learning a new deck, and I played Black Smoke while they had 9-drop out.
Oh, no.
So then they played Meki and just stole my Black Smoke. It felt bad.
I think that's one of the nicest things about Syn Shenron is it kind of checks most of the secret rares. Like if you have 9-drop in Meki Kabura out, there's nothing that most secret rares will be able to do against you.
Yeah.
And if they preemptively play him, then you just get to steal it, which is hilarious.
Mike Braska knows. He was there. He saw it.
Like the amount of times I've seen people play SS4 against a Meki Kabura and a 9-drop is just gross. Because you're never going to get to play another battle card. And if that was your only battle card, they just keep it tapped the rest of the game.
Yeah. All right. So they're ready to go. Game 2. Eden versus Kevin Zuniga. Going into top 8. Winner makes top 8. They'll be back tomorrow.
Bonsai, no. Robert Reach was playing the Chile deck, and he lost to Marcel. Yeah, the only really relevant steal effects we had before this was when Toa was big in the mirror match when you just steal each other's Vegetas back and forth.
Bro, don't you remember that kid who played 4 Body Change Ginyu in his 3rd place Surge Goku deck?
Yeah, I heard he's a scrub though.
Oh, true. Heard he used that effect once in a 10-round tournament. MVP card.
Yeah. Were they SPRs?
They were.
Okay, he's a little less of a scrub then.
And they still are. Sitting in my binder, collecting dust.
That was pretty spicy though, I'll give you that. That was pretty cool.
I thought it was so good, dude. Just the 1 card, play it down, heartfelt plea, and it was like, it was very meh.
Marco is still in it.
Kevin, we're getting you a chat ban. You're done. Talking about Gogeta 7 too much.
So no turn 2 play from Kevin. Nothing at all.
He probably has a war cry.
Yeah, so he's either going to do it defensively or he just lost 2 energy.
Well, because if he does it offensively, it's only single strike. If he does it defensively, it's going to be double on his turn, but then he needs a way to deal with the 9-drop. Jeez, he has 2 of them out now. That's big. If Kevin's side the champ pack Bardock, that'd be absolutely insane right now.
Oh yeah, both those 9 drops straight to the warp. We all playing Fall Guys tonight? Reggie Duke? I'm down, dude. Yeah, Bonsai, I thought of a loser's bracket thing too, but at the same time, unlike fighting games, these games are so long. You know, like a fighting game set does not take an hour and a half to do. It takes like maybe at best, 10, 20 minutes. So that's the only difference between card games and fighting games. If this was a best of 1, maybe I wouldn't be opposed to it, but best of 3 games with no time limit, it's just gonna be super long and super exhausting. Exactly. Even today's event, we actually did not anticipate it to go this long. We figured it would be over honestly just about like an hour ago, but we did have some delays and some games took way longer than I thought. I thought some matchups would take 2 hours at max, but they took like 2.5 hours. It was pretty crazy. Even the very first game, Brian Samuel versus Zuhair, it was skillless against Zamasu, and it went to game 3. It took a long time.
Yeah, Reggie, you would have loved San Diego celebrations.
Oh yeah,
it was nuts. I've never experienced a top cut like that before.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we hit top 16, what time do you think it was? Like 9 o'clock already, maybe 10?
Dude, I want to say it was like 10, maybe 11. We got out there super late.
It was nuts. It was like every round in top cut when you finished, like you didn't wait for the whole round to end. They would just like, if your next opponent was ready in your bracket, they would just like run you to it. Like I remember I played against Crash in top 8, and after I was done with that, Marcus was my next opponent in top 4, and he was already sitting at the stream table, and they literally like picked my stuff up, brought it over to the table, and like, okay, play. And I was like, what is going on?
Dude, I remember like I was playing nonstop back to back, and so I sat on the stream table and I was waiting for you, and you got done with your match and you had to play me next. And I was like, okay, cool, he's gonna play me right away. He's gonna be tired. And then your friend brought you a cup of water to help you out.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was salty, man, not gonna lie. I was like, I wish I had a friend that brought me water.
That's how we do it. Bro, my friend, when I won Portland regionals, it was like the round was about to start, and Ben like pulled out his bag of like granola bars and everything. He's like, take your pit.
Nice. all my friends were outside, like ready to eat and everything. I'm just here all alone.
We didn't get out of there till like 2.
Yeah. Yep.
We were so tired. I remember we got back to the place we were staying at, and John wanted to do deck profiles for me and Fuji. And like halfway through my deck profile, I like literally stare at the camera for like 15 seconds, just saying nothing, because I just like almost fell asleep.
Yeah. It's funny. But Coderville, thanks, man. Shout outs to the commentators for killing it. Absolutely. Joey's been here all day with me.
To the bitter end, Marcus. To the bitter end.
Thank you. I really
Reggie,
appreciate
I'll keep that in mind next time.
Andy was big help in the morning too. Great of him to sacrifice all his time. I think he literally went to work. I mean, he was here till he went to work. So thanks to Andy as well. Russell hopping in last minute. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much.
Best way you can help out, guys, just subscribe. Check out our social medias, YouTube, Twitch. That's the best way you can help out. We are not getting paid for this. We are just doing this because we love to do it. We want to be here with you guys.
Yeah, we are definitely not getting paid. Not getting paid to do this, but we have been going at it for about 8 hours and 54 minutes. Dang, I gotta eat after this. What's for dinner tonight, boys? What should we get tonight?
Oh, dude.
Bro, more pizza rolls.
Pizza rolls.
We
We
gotta have
gotta go a little fancier than pizza rolls tonight. We deserve it. Maybe
Oh,
some.
don't worry. I'll get on a flight tonight. I'll pick up Marcus in Fresno. Then we'll fly up to Washington State and we'll meet up with Russell. We'll get dinner.
Yeah, we'll get some chicken tendies.
If I'm flying all the way there for chicken tendies, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Bro, I can show you the best chicken tendies of your life.
All right, that's kind of tempting. I do actually miss In-N-Out. I haven't had it in so.
I could leave the house. There isn't too many fires near my area. I'm like dead in the center of California where nothing reaches here.
Oh yeah, dude. Hearts out to NorCal for what's going on over there, man. It's crazy. Like, it's like 3 summers in a row. I think this has been going on.
Yeah, it's insane.
I remember it the last 2 summers very vividly. It's crazy.
Malagna 69. What is this challenge?
Protein style, double, extra pickles. I just go protein style, ketchup, tomato, done. So throw some fries on there. It's the best.
All right, Jordan, you're invited to fly on down. Let's go eat.
Russell, Jordan's all about the chicken tendies. We went to we got food at the 1K last weekend, and I got like this chicken with rice and all this nonsense, and he got the chicken tenders and mozzarella sticks. I was like, dang, bro, I misplayed. That was the right play.
That was good. Well, because we went there, it was our last night in Philly. I really wanted to get a Philly cheesesteak, and Eric was like, "No, you don't get them here. They're not that good." He's like, "Trust me, get the wings." And it was like a platter of like wings, mozzarella sticks, chicken tenders. Those wings were fire. I'm not gonna lie. That was some next level wings.
Dude, I do love Korean barbecue. That is good too.
Yeah, we get Korean barbecue at every event though.
That's the way to do it. All you can eat.
Everybody always wants to get Korean barbecue. I don't know. It's good. I just get tired of going to every event. Not enough chicken tendies there. And don't listen to Fuji, because I did order sushi at that restaurant. But yes, I did order a side of chicken teriyaki. Well, I'm at $1,000. You think I got $1,000 to just blow? If you beat me, I'll let you subscribe to my $1,000 Patreon tier for free.
You would have, Russell, if you won this tournament. That was your chance, Russell.
You got me there. Jeez, Eden's board is just gross.
It really is. So if Kevin did side those Mass Saiyans, this is the game to play it.
But even at that, like this is where Syn, like this is like the god curve for Syn. Sitting at 6 life, has Meki on board and 2 9-drops.
Yeah.
With an energy open for a possible Nimbus. And his opponent has a Nabuni and a token on board.
Yeah, we are definitely going to go to game 3, it looks like. But you never know. I mean, all it takes is one secret rare, right?
Yeah. But that Meki is just going to stop a lot of the pressure.
Mm-hmm. And all those blockers, too. So he does have to work his way to it.
Because, like, even if he does, if he were to, like, slam down Champ Pack Bardock right now, I still think Eden is in a good spot. Because he's sitting at such a healthy life total with a 6-counter Meki on board.
Yeah, I think Kevin needs that start he had game 1. He needs to see as many Raiders as possible and just go in.
Yeah, 100%. Or he needs some more removal. I want to know what his side deck was, because we haven't seen anything for these 9-drops.
Malonia, I don't get why people don't get that set 11 minus set 1 is 10 sets. My title is meant to imply set 1 Vegeta. I'm sorry, this is just triggering me a little bit. I'm done on my tangent.
You just have to own the clickbait. Clickbait is a part of YouTube.
I didn't even mean to clickbait it.
As long as you own up to clickbait, then it's fine. No one will be mad. But you just have to be like, yes, I clickbaited.
No, dude. If I don't make a video that like teaches someone something, it's not worth making the video.
But if you're doing YouTube, what's the reason to not clickbait?
My personal integrity. I do probably more stuff than I should based on my own integrity that no one else is ever going to know about.
Clickbait is just a part
can't
of
sleep
life.
tonight.
It's smart marketing. See if Fuji agrees.
I do pretty good on views without too much clickbait, so maybe I'll try it out, see if they boom or something.
I don't think we've seen a father and son Bardock from Kevin, have we?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think once you play multicolor, I think you have to start conceding text like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of the blue yellow decks I haven't seen them in. That card's just so good in this matchup. Like you just being able to trigger like and just like any matchup in general, being able to trigger Bergamos like at will. And if you run chilled, like being able to trigger that, being able to just put a 9-drop in rest and like kill it for free with Gotenks.
Yeah, dude. Like, I really want to play mono yellow Gotenks, but like being able to play Obuni is a big turn on for the deck, but also like having Bean to stop Obuni is also a big thing because Bean does more against Obuni than Nimbus does, really.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just like there's no reason to not run blue. It just gives you better defense, and when you're running deck cards like Warcry, like being able to just like bean up and like we saw Kevin do, if he was running mono yellow, he wouldn't have been able to throw down double Warcry that turn, and maybe that game would have gone different because of that.
Oh my god, that board.
Dreams, Cutie Pie, 100%. I'm always down to do a tendies match against anybody. If tendies are on the line, I'll never lose. That's a fact. If like the prize for this tournament was 1,000 chicken tendies for life or 1,000 chicken tendies, 100% 2-0 everybody.
2-0 everybody, huh? Dang. All right. Well, Eden took game 2 down to game 3. At least these games have been going somewhat fast. You know, like that game 1 was super fast. This game 2 was a little bit slower, but pretty much Kevin just didn't have anything, no way to fight back, and yeah, it was over. So now it's game 3.
Exactly, Reggie. I'm easy to please.
Kevin's gonna go first this game, so let's see if he wins again. It almost seems like a dice roll matchup, to be honest. When you go first, you get access to your Raiders Warcries faster. You could possibly play like your Gogeta Unison and then play your Warcries. It just helps.
Hey,
so
that
much.
match between me and Daylon was a good one. If that match was that was like a good match to like record. That was an intense match. But I'll give him it. He definitely got me. Ichigo, loser gets to decide where the tendies come from. All right, game 3. Who's going to win this one?
I think it's all going to depend on how Kevin opens.
Yeah, being on the play is huge in this matchup. That's the one thing about Gotenks is when you're on the draw against it and they get to, it just feels so bad when you're sitting at 1 energy and your opponent just gets to start slapping down like Warcries. I hope Eden has another 9-drop in hand because against Eric, when he charged that 9-drop, he did not see another one in time. I do like that Kevin plays the Goku hit. That's one thing I've noticed in like a lot of the blue yellow Gotenks lists is most people don't play Arrivals from what I've seen, but when they do, it's always been like the Bojack. But it seems like since he's playing the higher number of blue yellow, he fit in the Goku hit, which is just
Yeah.
like infinitely better than the Bojack.
Oh yeah.
That card's honestly just busted.
Goku hit. It's just so much utility, right?
Yeah.
It's not anything like fancy or broken, but it just does a lot for one card. You get to
Oh yeah.
be defensive with it, or you get to be offensive with it. Decent amount of power, low cost.
You get to be offensive and defensive with it because you
Yeah.
can swing and then tap and keep it up for defense.
Yeah. So
And it kills Unison super efficiently.
So it's a pretty nice, well-designed card in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Nothing from Eden on turn 2. Very interesting. Wow. Not even a 1-star.
Yeah, that's right.
He must really be missing his cards.
Yep.
It seems like Kevin's got a good opener and
Yeah.
Eden's got a very lackluster opener.
Like not
Mhm.
even
Yeah,
the
it is
Haze one
definitely
drop.
hard.
Like no, nothing.
You have huge turn this turn. Like he could feel pretty safe even awakening and dropping a 7-drop Gotenks right now because he knows his Unison isn't going to die next turn. So if his opponent, like if Eden tries to play anything, he can just like free counterplay Vegeta, put it in rest, and save his life.
Right.
And Eden just showed a Haze, so who knows if he has a second one in hand.
You know, one thing Eden has been doing really well the past couple times is he uses the Haze Shenrons really well. I think he swung. Didn't he swing with the 8 first? 1 second. Let's see. I'm not sure if the 8 was one. Yeah, he might have. Let's ask. No, okay.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that's a pretty
technically
easy fix.
How would you fix that? I mean,
you just put it back on board, right? Put the 2 cards back in his hand.
turn did.
Oh,
Go,
did he
though.
end the turn?
Yeah, I think the way to fix it would just be giving the Raiders back, but Eden still has to leave the 2 cards in the drop.
Yeah, I keep saying 1 second, but let me.
That's true.
Hey guys, can you guys?
Hey, what happened?
Hey, sorry. We noticed that you played the Haze Shenron on the Warcry, but the Warcry was not in rest mode, was it?
The card's pop a card in rest mode?
The Warcry was not in rest mode.
Correct.
No, it's not.
So the Haze Shenron doesn't pop that.
Really?
Yeah, it's only cards in rest mode, right?
Oh, that's right. Oh, so
Yeah.
how do we fix this?
It's a tough
were
one.
you gonna swing with the 8?
I would have swung
Probably
with the 8.
Okay,
correct.
so,
So
I
go
was
ahead,
thinking
Eden.
like I can take the 1 life from that first attack, and then when you swing with the 8, I'll just combo the Haze and everything's fixed.
That's fair. Very, very fair.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay.
All right, cool. Thank you guys for being cooperative like that. That's really nice to see.
Yeah.
All right, good luck, guys. Keep going.
Thank-
All right, that was kind of cool. I don't know if you guys heard that, but that was really nice of them to do that. Very cooperative with each other. Because most likely we all know Kevin was gonna swing with that ape. There's no reason not to swing with that ape. So he's gonna just combo during the ape swing, kill it, and he's just gonna take that leader swing. So that was really nice. Shout out to those 2 guys. Yeah, they were both super chill. Oh, wow, I actually accidentally left that call. I gotta call back Joey and Russell. No wonder it's only me. How do I join that call again? Do I have to call them back? Let's see. Nope, they're in there. I gotta join call. What's up, guys? Sorry I left the call like that. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if you guys heard what happened, but I went into the Discord with them, and Eden basically said he was gonna swing with the ape anyway, so I'm just gonna combo to kill the ape when he swings with it. But that leader swing, I'll just take the damage from it. And he asked if Kevin's okay with it, and Kevin said, "Yep, absolutely. That sounds fair." So they just fixed it up that way. So that was really nice. They were both
Sweet.
cooperative on it.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
What? Cutie Pie, I'm not a Cali player, though. I can't play in that tournament. Wow. If I do judge, I better get compensated.
All right. So Eden getting
Meki
his
down.
4 energy Meki and awaken play. That's his. Well, at 3
That's
life,
huge.
it's not, the best, but it's pretty much the average Lino play
Mhm.
for him. So
I wonder, like, we haven't seen any removal from Kevin.
mhm.
I bet you I wouldn't be surprised if he sided in like Shrouded Fu. Since we haven't seen any like early game removal, I wouldn't be surprised if he's just like building the big board, slaps down like a Shrouded Fu and like ends the game.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
But yeah, that was pretty huge for Eden. Getting that, being able to drop Meki and Awaken the same turn is just such a like huge tempo play.
Mhm. Yeah, Eden's
And yeah,
hand.
Eden's hand is massive.
It really is. It's so funny seeing the contrast when Eden was playing against Vegex and he barely had a hand the whole game, right? He was always hovering
Mhm.
between 2 to 5 cards in hand, and now against Gotenks he has this monster hand. All right, there's a Nimbus, which lets Kevin draw 1 and rest mode a battle card, which is pretty nice. But he only gets 1 more battle and 1 more unison swing.
Kevin has so much energy.
He really does.
We still have yet to see that new Bojack make its appearance.
I know,
I wonder if
right?
he took it out.
I wonder if it's only for certain matchups.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he took it out.
Right. What we seen Beerus's, Goku hits, and that card ends in Masu's. So that could be a total of what, 16 blue yellows?
Because Aegis is really good against those aggressive matchups, right? Because you get to tap out like offensively or defensively, and then still have the opportunity to like untap energy and draw off of it.
Right.
But against matchups like this, where your opponent's not really presenting a wide board, they're just kind of like going tall. I mean, they can once they hit 6 energy, but that's so late in the game, anyways.
There's a double strike swing at the face, I believe. This could be
It was blocked by Meki.
blocked by Meki. Okay.
Was it? Or no, he took it. Never mind.
Kevin could go for clearing markers off Meki, or he could even try and go for game. So he's gonna actually -4 in the Gogeta. That's really, really cool to see.
Yeah.
This actually really does put Eden in a predicament because, you know, he wants to continue to create a board, and even right here, you know, let's tap it out for something. Okay, Haru, so he's gonna get
That's really
energy
good.
back.
Wow.
I think the one thing about that play that kind of confuses me is like, what are you afraid of Syn doing on 5 energy? Other
Right.
than like
Or if he
if
gets, like,
you because they
so-
charge and go to 3, right? So if they
Mhm.
get 3 energy, they can still play another 9 drop. So what more are you like afraid of? Like,
Right.
why not wait until your next turn to do the -4, so that way he can't do the leader backside tap 6.
This Bergamo right here is big though.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, thinking about it now, seeing how Kevin played this out, he was probably thinking he could leave Eden open with, 3 energy and make a Bergamo play and possibly tap him out.
Yeah.
But that Haru actually did some work, it got him an extra energy.
Yeah, I think just saving that, because saving that Gogeta, getting an extra attacker next turn, and then doing a -4 and locking him out from tapping 6 for leader
Mm-hmm.
would have been a better route.
I agree. I agree with that.
Locking down the Raiders. So that's going to be one source of double strike he's not able to use to win the game. Playing 1-star ball with Haze. I feel like, is that even necessary to play that down right now?
Yeah, probably not. He does not have one in drop, but it would have came out next turn anyway, unless he's planning not to do that effect.
I guess.
Magna, yeah, definitely you have to be careful with those cards. But I think Haru, as good, it's a good card still, but it's definitely not as backbreaking as it was
Mm-hmm.
back in the day. Especially when wish leaders were so big and you could wish out and just get 4 energy back for free.
All right, so Eden played Nimbus. Another super defensive card. Just he's walling up. He's at 2 life, but nothing's gonna get through right now.
Yeah, unfortunate too that Kevin gave up his Unison because that's one less attack he gets under Nimbus now.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. It's just so hard when you have 9 drop and Meki on board. He could have Cell, and he has 12 energy for Cell, but he can't play it because of the 9 drop.
Interesting tapping. Oh, okay, that makes sense. He taps Kevin's blocker and then restands his own blocker so that if Bergamo swings, it's just going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Activating
Iggy, you really like those red earthing leaders, don't you? Jeez.
Another Obuni? Okay. What's your favorite saying, Russell?
When in doubt, play Obuni.
Yep, exactly. That's right. Can never
What
go
was it?
wrong.
In our group chat earlier, Zuhair was like, "Man, if I would just played Obuni instead of the secret rare, he's like, I think I could have won that game." But it's true. When in doubt, you just play Obuni. Good things happen.
That's right. That should be the final swing. Because he did Nimbus. But did he pitch for Nimbus? I'm sure he did. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he pitched for Nimbus. I remember.
Yes, Cam
Oof.
Whiteclaw Williamson. It is I.
He's successors for Cell Xeno. Very, very interesting.
Looks like he just wants to rip the 3 cards, maybe.
Yeah. It's actually not too bad of an idea because maybe he was afraid that those battle cards are going to die somehow. Then he's going to lose the opportunity to play them. So might as well just play it now. And hopefully it survives next turn.
If Eden has another, because he's gonna. Does he have a swing still?
No.
He's just gonna get stolen then.
Could be. We'll
That's
see.
a very true and scary point. Oh, man.
Yeah.
But Kevin's such a smart player. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what's in his hand. And I know
Right.
Kevin wouldn't just willy-nilly throw down a cell if he didn't have something going on.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see what's going to happen. Critical moments of the game right here, guys. Make or break right here. Yeah, I'm not sure how those cards went to the warp. Sells, cards go to drop, not warp.
Jeez, he has the Foo Shrouded too. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine if he had
Yep.
Foo Shrouded into Meki Steel this turn?
Yeah. That would have been gross.
Oh, that would have been game over 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What did Eden tap? Okay, he was in the middle of tapping energy. Plays Haru Haru. Gets the energy back.
If he has a second Foo Shrouded in hand,
Oh, let's see. What's he doing? He's milling too. Okay. For a split second, I thought he was warping. I'm like, oh my god, it's happening. Paying 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see. Dragons or Foo?
I
What's
know
coming
it's
up?
either one.
Oh, it's the dragons. All right.
Yeah. But leader can attack next turn now. We're starting to get to that game state where Syn is putting the clamps on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's the steal from Meki. He goes -4. That must feel nice. Hey, I have a 40k quadruple strike on board. I might as well swing for a game with it.
Hopefully there's a Nimbus here.
Yeah, Kevin desperately needs a negate. Oh no. Nope.
Oh, what?
Oh my god.
Maybe maybe he has a negate. Well, because he needs 2 negates, so he's probably hoping that Eden doesn't just go all in on this attack.
Mm-hmm.
Could have Vegeta's Final Flash.
Ooh, yeah, you could have Vegeta's Final Flash
Double Bean.
or
Raiders.
35. 40. He needs to get to 55. 25, 35, 40. 45. 50.
combo into
Arrival.
Obuni.
Okay.
Nice. Gets negated though.
Yeah, I think how comboing the Xeno is gonna get him to the next turn, especially 25k on the leader.
I'm assuming he has to have a negate in hand.
25, 35, 45, 50. Okay, he got there.
I really hope his game plan was not to block.
He comes and play, taps stat, draws a card. Kevin could afford to take some hits, that's for sure. He's still at 4 life. You know, everything's coming at him at single strikes or double strikes. Oh, he can't block unless maybe Eden didn't call it. You know, Eden could have totally forgot to call it with Syn Shenron.
So Baz
Yeah.
demand. Eden didn't play this though. He stole it, so you don't get the hand rip effect.
Very surprising that
Yeah,
Eden didn't call to negate the Goku hit.
right, right. Hey, you know, it's towards the end of the game. You just stole a Cell Xeno. You're excited. You feel like you got it. You miss those little things, you know?
And it's not only during your opponent's turn, is it?
My God. That is
Oh,
gross.
God, dude.
That is gross.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
I've only heard about this play, never seen it.
Oh, man. I don't think I've ever seen that in my life.
Can't block.
Oh, my
can't block.
God.
Doesn't matter, but he couldn't block that first time.
Right.
GG.
Oh, man.
Kevin, no.
I know. F's in the chat. West Coast final hope, right? I think was, yeah, Kevin was the West Coast final hope.
They
Unless
should have to play one more match because Eden was out.
Wow.
Definitely ending that on a good note. That was a great game. Wow.
Turn is
Steal
well
the
played.
Xeno, play the Xeno. My goodness.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to be GG's, man. Yep. Kevin is thinking to himself, man, what just happened? What just happened there?
That was gross.
All right. Yeah, Twitch chat got it wrong. At the very end, they picked Kevin, but it was Eden who took it. All right, guys. Well, back to the commentators booth. That is game for sure. Whew. What a long day, right? But
Yeah, seriously.
we made it, guys. We're here at the very end.